The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the winter edition 2024 of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations with local businesses, and we talk to the business owners, the CEOs, CFOs, and we even get in some entrepreneurs and nonprofit businesses, business advocates, people who are business-friendly organizations. We see how they got into business. We wonder, why do you do business right here in Syracuse, New York? And we ask them where their business might be going in the future. So you're going to hear all about their successes and challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and you can see us on YouTube as well, okay? So here we are, Steve, another day and another dollar. And you need lots of them.
I was going to say, to pay the media bill, yeah. So last Judy went to Wegmans. I know it's not Green Hills for you.
No, but we go to Wegmans.
I cannot believe.
Yes.
It's like it just hit her. It hit me a while ago. It just hit her. I cannot believe she got a bag of groceries, I don't know, the size of a little bag of groceries, yep. Like $72 or whatever it was. Like,
you guys are lucky. Are you just buying for you two?
Yeah,
yes, you too. So with us, we have Nicholas at home and the 25-year-old who, right. She's going to get her job soon, but still, she's at home, so we buy some groceries for her. And we have, cut out all the junk food, so.
Yeah, you're looking good there, buddy.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, better than you were. You look terrific, but exactly. you look alive now at least.
So we're trying to buy all the good stuff, to feed our, dietary needs, right? And it was $406 this past weekend. And Kelly said, we got to do something here. This is not right.
Yeah. Weren't you going to buy like half a cow or something? Were you talking?
We were, yeah. I forgot who we interviewed there. Something 16.
You interviewed the cow?
No, we interviewed the gal. The gal who owns the cows.
Okay.
Out there in Tully or something, yeah. We're going to talk to her. I think we are still going to do that because, golly.
If I had a bigger freezer, and freezers aren't expensive.
No.
Let me know. Maybe we can carve one up or something because I would put a freezer. I have room for like a chest freezer. I just don't have one.
So we could get a whole one. I was only going to get a quarter. Maybe we get a half.
Maybe get a half.
Yeah, and then we split it up. Yeah, we could do that. All right. Well, look, let's not split up the show. Let's do it all at once. We've got a great show for you. Nicole McQuaid's going to be up first. She's the HR manager at Clinton's Ditch. And then John Kupperman, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. Husband and wife team of Jill and Bob Doss, the owners of Sweet Tooth Annie Bakery. Ariel Sheehan, or is it Sheehan? Sheehan.
I think it's Sheehan.
Sheehan. Oh, Sheehan. There we go.
If you need to pronounce something, Tom, ask me.
Yes. That'll work. Ariel Sheehan. She is the sales and marketing representative over there at 43 North Marina. Joshua Chiz is the executive director of operations at Marketplace Chaplains. And then Joe Scripa stops by, owner of the Scripa Group, real estate and property management. Attorney David Snyder is the owner of the Snyder Law Firm. And then we'll talk with Loris Rigdon. He is the physical therapist and the owner of Onondaga Physical Therapy. So all that on the Local Show today. It'll be fun conversation, even with Nicole.
We were having fun. Now look who's here.
How are you there, Nicole?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Oh, we're hanging right in there. You have a nice holiday, did you?
Yes.
Did you do anything like spectacular for New Year's?
No. Watch Anderson and Andy. That's my New Year's Eve.
There you go. So what's new and exciting now that the new year has crested over there at Clinton's Ditch, the Pepsi place?
We're busy. We're in the process of getting some new co-packers. Mm-hmm. So those are people that we don't work with right now.
What's a co-packer?
So a co-packer is not in the Pepsi family.
So Coke.
No. So
not
it's
that
like,
far removed.
not that far removed.
Right.
So it's like Reed's Reed's ginger ale, Q drinks. We do Barrett's ginger beer now, and we do Welch's soda line. So grape soda, fruit punch. He's got like 7 flavors he does. We're in the process of adding a couple more. Super cool stuff, and hopefully it works out. And
grape soda when you were a kid. Tom, were you like?
Oh, I like grape soda.
But it was like orange. Was it Faygo, or what was the brand? There was an orange Fanta. It was Fanta.
Yes.
And orange, and
they had the orange and grape.
Yeah, and the grape, and I was just like such a thrill.
Yeah. So the Welch's guy, he got like the recipe. It's like the grapes, like grape juice, but he turns it into soda. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Do you have any health drinks, any sport drinks?
The closest we have is from a co-packer. It's called Yerbe, and it's like he's in the process of getting it so it can be a sport drink, but that's like the healthiest thing we have next to Reed's ginger ale. We do a lot of zero sugar products too. So we do Pepsi Zero, we do ginger ale zero.
Well, the sparkling waters.
Yeah, the bubbly. Yeah, here and there.
There's nothing in there much that's...
Nope.
But
and we do water.
Tom. Water, yes. Water.
Yes. And then, so the when you say it's zero sugar, they're putting an artificial sweetener in there.
Yeah, and other stuff to give it flavoring to taste like.
Does the I don't know how does the government or anything dictate to you like you can't put sugar in, or you can, or you can't? It's
all driven by PepsiCo and their formulas and so they get regulated and then they just pass it to us. Yeah. And then we get audited. So like we have an audit today, matter of fact, because we sell product to the Army. We supply water to Fort Drum. So the Army
how do you audit water? Like, hey, look, it's water. You're good. I mean, what the heck?
Well, sometimes they put minerals in there, right?
We do not. We don't have that capability. So they come in and they just look for GMPs. Do people have their hairnets on? Do they have their earplugs on?
Yeah.
Is the plant clean? Mold, stuff like that. Just like a health inspection that you would do in restaurants, we have it at a much magnified level.
Well, your food handling, I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah. It's all about food safety with us.
Right.
How's business?
Business is good. We did about a little over 27 million cases last year, which is good. And we're just trying to build that volume back for this year. The co-packers will probably put us right about 27 million cases again next year.
So you, as an HR manager, your job is probably to recruit people too, right?
Yes, and we are looking for tractor-trailer drivers, so Class A drivers that pull our product up and down the thruway. We're looking for general help. We'll probably start doing phone screens in another couple of weeks as we brought our last class of new employees in. They started this week, so then we start the process over again.
What's the difference in Class A and someone has a CDL?
So it is a license that they can drive tractor-trailer. So it's not a B. So a B is like a box truck. These are I think our tractor-trailers are 47 feet, not 53 because of our sleepers and because we pull tandems.
Okay.
You're talking to the wrong person.
So if someone was a truck driver, why would they want to drive? Why would they
home on weekends? That's the biggest thing with us. We have longer days, or you're at your max hours that you can drive. I think it's like 13. Our guys have long days, but they have the weekends off, so that is a huge perk. You're not sleeping in a hotel or your truck. The guys, we do have sleeper trucks, but those are bidded runs, and they want to be in the truck.
Right. And for a general worker, what kind of money are they looking at?
Around $25 an hour.
Really?
Mopping, sweeping, pulling trash, doing line watch, a lot of cleaning.
Do you get benefits with that?
Yes, day one.
Jeez.
And then, so if I didn't want to,
nice gig.
On the horizon, if I'm 20 something years old, 20 years from then, are they still pulling trash, or what are they doing?
No, hopefully not. We don't want people to be general helpers forever. We want them to come in and either bid on a forklift job, a filler job, a labeler job, packer, or get into our blending department and actually make the soda.
I wanted to have a forklift. Can I try one?
No.
Can you give me a try?
No.
Tom, doesn't that look like fun?
Well, yes, it looks like fun. It looks dangerous if you're behind the wheel.
That's a lot of paperwork.
You have electric ones, or are they?
Yeah. Well, we have
propane?
got one. We have one that's electric. They're all battery for the most part. Yeah.
That's what burned Sirocco down so many years ago. A forklift had a gas line pipe, and it's 25 years ago, and the building was gone.
It is no joke. No joke with forklifts. You have to be extra careful, and especially with our cans. They're loose. I don't know how our drivers do it.
I'd be perfect at it.
No, you would not.
So there's a website out there, and it's called thepepsiplace.com. Thepepsiplace.com, and you can see all the jobs probably on there.
Yes.
And I believe when I've looked at them, they're pretty detailed, and
Yes.
gives you all the stuff. And then do not call Nicole, or else she will excommunicate you.
From the Pepsi place.
You'll never be
That's
able
a
to
little
work
strong.
there.
Yeah, she
It's
does.
a little strong.
Yeah.
You won't even be able to go over to Cracker Barrel. If she, that's how far away she'll push you. No, but go ahead and I'll apply right there. Thank you so much, Nicole. It's always a pleasure.
Have a great day,
You too,
guys.
All right, John Kupperman's coming up next. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. Stick around for that on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it again. We're still in 2024, right, Steve?
Last
we
I
didn't
looked.
change, didn't we?
Last
Okay.
I looked, but I don't write checks anymore, so I'm not writing 2023 like
Yes.
some people might be doing.
No way to know. Is anything blinking in your house that you need to reset or anything like that? Or
No,
you're good. Yeah, yeah, the
I got
cars
people
are
for
good.
that. Love the car, Tom.
What car?
The car that used to be yours.
Oh, yes.
So you take my lawnmower, I take your car. Seems
Yes.
like a fair trade.
Yeah, but you had to pay for the. you gave me the lawnmower. In fairness to you.
No, I like that vehicle.
Yeah, it's nice, huh?
Yeah, I like it. It actually fits me.
Yeah, you got some leg room there.
I do.
And,
Again, I'm like that thing on your mirror. Objects are larger than they appear. That's me, but I fit
Right.
in there. And
I'm really sorry I couldn't get the peanut butter and everything that's stuck in all the crevices out of there.
I did have it detailed.
Good. Yes.
There was like girly
You need
hair in
that.
there and like little pins, and you could tell it was your
You
wife's
gotta
car.
get out. Yeah, you got to get all that out. Good. Hey, it's our pleasure to bring on John Kupperman again. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. How are you, John?
Very fine, thanks.
Did you have a good holiday season up there at the store?
We had the best one ever.
Oh, that's excellent.
That is fabulous.
Probably due
Hit
to
it
a
out of the
couple of
ballpark.
commercials you had here on
I heard
Zoey
about
Advertising.
the show all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Almost every day during the holiday season, I heard you on the radio.
So the other marketing stuff you've done in the last, 100 years that you've been part of the family, do you hear other things all the time or mostly this all the time?
I hear about this radio show frequently.
Very good.
That was shameless self-promotion. I thought I would
Yeah, I know.
How about personally? Because I know didn't you have a daughter over in England and
I
stuff
still
like
do.
that?
She's over there.
Okay. Did she come home at all? Or
No. She's now applying for permanent citizenship over there.
No kidding.
It's dual, yeah.
Why would someone want to do that?
Oh, she loves it.
She just loves it there.
Yeah.
Huh? Good
And
for her.
She's living with her boyfriend, and she's
Where?
got in Newcastle, which is up near Scotland.
What does she do?
She is an environmental and animal conservationist working for a multinational corporation that.
Good golly.
Yeah, I don't know where my kids got this from.
I'm like, that's fun. I was going to ask that.
They are. Yeah, they're both. My son is brilliant too. Get this. He is the federal archaeologist for the state of Minnesota.
No kidding. And there's a lot of archaeology up there.
Oh, God,
there's
well,
a lot to be explored.
I was turning over rocks and assembling bones from little dead animals when he was about 6 years old.
Gosh.
I don't know where they get it.
Well, that's nice.
So they probably
very
don't
fortunate.
have. They probably don't have a lot of interest in the family business.
No, not at all. We had that conversation when they were in their early teens.
Yeah.
They're like, Dad, no, we don't want to do it. No. We have other aspirations. And I was like, good for you.
So at this time of year, what are the popular products up at your place?
We mentioned it before, but we're still hitting it out of the park with bakeware.
Oh, really?
And now all of a sudden, we continually sell, the Hyman Smith coffee.
Yeah.
But we're doing 20, 30 pounds a day, which is a lot.
Good God. Is that mainly for restaurants or for consumers?
It's almost all consumer.
No, good.
And it's very fresh. This is
We roast it just about every day.
Yeah.
So, but those two categories have just been continuously strong.
Right, cranking it.
Cranking.
And we talked about those pizza ovens before. They seem to be getting a lot of press lately. People,
Yep.
I don't know whether people are carb hungry or what.
Yeah, not you and me, Tom. We have to.
We have the ovens, but we sell more of the supplies for the ovens.
Oh, okay,
the pizza
gotcha.
peels and the pans and those types of things.
So what's that whole boil your food before you cook it thing going on?
That's called sous vide.
Sous vide.
Sous vide.
Is that French?
It is. It's a method of cooking where you take food and you put them in vacuum sealed bags.
Yes.
And the sous vide machine requires like a plastic tub, and it creates a hot water bath that circulates. And you put your food into that hot water bath and you mostly cook it. And then when it's done, you then refrigerate it. And when you then want to finish it off, you take it out of the bag and you put it in the pan or you put it on the grill.
So what kinds of meats does it work for?
Any meats, but in particular if you're doing steaks, no moisture can get out. When you're cooking a steak, obviously it's shrinking because you're cooking out the moisture.
Right.
When you do it in a sous vide, you're just finishing it off.
Yeah.
So you get, if you're doing, quality cuts of meat, it comes out very tender and also very plump.
So a bunch of years ago, we were doing some photography for a restaurant, and with the fine pieces of meat, they just seared it really quickly and brought out. We did the pictures because it shrinks, so that's what they did. So this avoids all of that. Is that what you're saying?
Can you keep it longer? Or does it just keep the same way?
It keeps about the same. I mean, because it's mostly cooked. It's not 100%.
But I freeze it, though. You freeze forever, right? I mean,
if you froze it, yes. But the idea is you
not freeze it.
You can do, let's say you do 6 or 10 steaks. And you refrigerate them, and then you take them out as you want them.
You've got Tom's
But they can
attention.
only keep for a week or so. But you're not losing any volume. You're not losing any moisture.
Steve and I were talking about doing dehydration, too. A dehydrator. Do you have those?
I do.
And air fryers? Because I need a new air fryer.
Yeah, I
so
do.
if we want to make beef jerky, how's that work?
Well, you're thinly slicing meat.
Okay.
You're seasoning it, and then you're dehydrating it, essentially. And a dehydrator is a device. They're round and square, and they have trays with perforations on them, and you lay out the meat of the fruit on them, and it blows warm air through there.
Okay, like an air fryer, sort of.
Sort of, but a much lower heat.
Okay.
And this will take a day.
Oh, really?
It takes hours and hours.
Gotcha.
Because you don't want to you're not trying to cook it. You're just trying to take the moisture out of it.
Gotcha. Okay, so you have all the devices to do that.
Oh yeah, we got all the toys for the kitchen.
Excellent. Okay.
So has everybody that had a dull knife got it sharpened yet, or is there still room for that?
This radio show, I got to tell you, people now they're actually coming in with their knives properly wrapped.
Hey,
so
as
they're
opposed to
listening.
walking
Yay.
where you don't think it's a robbery now. You actually.
I love it. They come in and they point the knife at you, and they say, "Can you sharpen these?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Would you put it down?" It's like,
with their COVID mask on.
Down underneath their nose.
And it looks like they're attacking you, Here we are.
Oh, you can see them coming from the parking lot. They get out, they grab their knives, and they're walking through the parking lot. Unfortunately, the radio can't see. And I'm like, look at this knucklehead coming.
How often does someone get their? You don't think that way. You just,
Then they don't wrap them up. They got them loose in their car and in their seat next to them.
Yeah. So you're restocking for the holidays. You had great holiday. What were people buying over the holidays?
Everything. It was so remarkable, and it all came really late too. We were busy from Thanksgiving on, but the 3 days before Christmas were the busiest I've had in over 20 years.
Wow,
it was remarkable. But all categories were going. There wasn't anything that was not selling at that point. It was just we seldom have lines. I had lines of people.
That's excellent.
It was really it was fun.
Well, some of those big box stores have gone out of business, so you're the game to go to.
We are, actually.
And arguably, beforehand, you were, too, because of the expertise and the product line that is curated by you that's got a lot of experience.
We are specialists.
Yeah.
And, think we're really good at what we do.
Right. Well,
would the line have been longer because people went downtown and still for the holiday think you're downtown?
Every day we still get phone calls. I'm here and I can't get into
So
your
people
store.
show up with a knife pointed at the door,
right?
Because they were at the wrong place. It's the same people.
I have no doubt that has happened. That somebody's gotten out of their car down there at the apartment building with their knives.
In case anybody slid out of a coma, they're out on Erie Boulevard across from Texas Roadhouse.
Correct.
Not on the downtown building that is so well branded that says Smith's on it and it's just absolutely beautiful. Not to confuse anybody, but go 3 miles east of there.
Correct.
Tom, that's
We're into it.
Sunrise.
Is a kitchen gift ever good for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that if that would be offensive to a female or not.
Should you pair it with a vacuum cleaner?
You'd be surprised at how many knives we sell.
Oh, yeah. Here's our Valentine's Day knife set.
Yeah, right. You'd be amazed.
Fun stuff. All right. Well, we'll send people up there, and because there's Valentine's Day, and then we get right into Easter. So things.
Passover, Easter, St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, St. Patty's Day. Yeah, I forgot about that. So always a reason to go to Smith Restaurant Supply.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If not, just talk with John because he's a wealth of knowledge and get your coffee.
Put down the knife.
Yes. Right. Yes. Wrap up those knives, Freddy Krueger. All right. John Kupperman right there, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thanks very much.
Okay. Jill and Bob Doss are coming up next. They're the owners of Sweet Tooth Annie Bakery right here on the local show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back at it again. Thank you for joining us on this New Year edition of The Local Show. We really appreciate you hanging out with a couple of guys who love to champion local businesses. And
we like it when people bring us food, too, Tom. Let's be honest.
Yes, of course. Who brought us food?
Well, Linda, our next guests have food. But I want to brag about Safe Harbor for a second first. Can I brag about Safe Harbor?
Sure.
Safe Harbor, blah, blah, blah. Get a will, blah, blah, blah. If you don't have
don't say blah, blah, blah. It's yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada. If you haven't set up a home to protect a trust to protect your home, that would be just silly because long-term care seriously destroys so many people's
yes, it does.
estates. So just this week again, many people are talking to John over at Safe Harbor Wills and Trust in the team. So if you haven't done it, by golly, it's a new year. Do it. Give them a shout at 370-9977. Tom, that's safeharborwillsandtrust.com, Tom.
Yes, there you go. In the big area code.
In the big 315, the big one, yes.
Of course. Well, we have some new guests on the show, and we're happy to have them along. Small business, and right around the corner from us up there in Chittenango. Jill and Bob, is it Doss? Okay, yes. Great. Owners of Sweet Tooth Annie Bakery. Which one of you is Annie?
Me.
Yeah.
Be me.
Can't assume.
So I see Jill and Bob, but who's Annie then?
That's me. That's a nickname that my dad gave me as a kid, and it's one of the ones we can share. And my middle name is Ann, but he called me Sweet Tooth Annie because I love sweets.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Now, are both of you Syracuse natives? Are you from around here, the area, Central New York?
Yeah.
Grew up, in the area. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't always have this bakery, right?
No.
Okay. What did you guys do before that?
Well, I'm a retired school teacher and broadcast engineer, and I still teach electricity for adult ed in Madison Ida-Bosse's.
Oh, great.
In Verona and in New Hartford.
Did you know a guy by the last name Bear?
I've had so many people.
His first name was Yogi.
No, he taught.
Got it. Bear.
He taught at Central Tech.
Wrong guy.
The problem is when you've gotten a certain age, your memory fails you.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm in that category.
I had a guy at Central Tech. His name was Mr. Bear, and he taught me technical electronics, and I used to love that. And that was the days of circuit boards and etching your own boards and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yes, I took electronics as well.
Yeah, fun stuff. Good. Well, and then what did you do?
I am a retired municipal employee. I was village clerk treasurer in 2 municipalities, Manlius, Village of Manlius, and the Village of Chittenango.
Very good.
So what's
All
the deal
right.
where people make their taxes out to the person's name? How goofy is that? I mean, you're paying taxes to a town and you have to make it out to the. What was that all about?
Well, she deliberately didn't put her name on it.
No,
that reason.
a comment was made early on in my career, and they chose not to have my name on there, and so it just said tax collector or tax receiver.
It would make more sense.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be better.
It's always weird.
Because people were thinking they were paying me, and no, you're not.
Yeah.
So.
So fast forward to now. When did you start Sweet Tooth Annie's Bakery?
Well, we bought the property, in 2016 or 17?
Mm-hmm.
It's commercial property. It's right in the downtown part of Village commercial section. That's why we bought it.
Is it near any of the Yellow Brick Road stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right down there, yeah.
From the museum, or?
You can walk there from the museum,
Okay.
yes.
More
It's-
importantly, Tom, it's near Chittenango Creek,
Well,
where you can
yes,
fish.
yes.
So go ahead.
As you drop in, right?
Yes.
You wouldn't want to go there today.
No.
No, it's right in the center of the village. So there's a house there that was built in 1853. That's so if you know your history, that's before Lincoln was president.
Yes.
Okay. And so the house is still there. It's got a nice little historic front on it. So we've left that, and we added on to the back of the house. And that's where the bakery is. You can see it right from the road. And there actually is a road back there. It's called Rouse Street. It used to be a service canal during the canal eras. That's how you used to bring the goods into the village.
Of course, yeah.
So they filled this in at some point when the canal was no longer used. So you actually can drive back there right to that door, and there's parking back
So
there.
what am I going to find when I get there? What do you guys make and sell?
We sell a lot of donuts.
A lot of donuts.
A lot of donuts. Different types of pastries, cinnamon rolls, chocolate croissants, raspberry croissants, muffins, cookies, like chocolate chips sometimes. Half moon, oatmeal raisin. And Jill does a lot of different homemade stuff like you've got right there. Those nut brittles are all handmade.
Okay, so this had my attention. So YouTube listeners can see this, and Tom, listeners can hear the crackle, which I know just made you crazy as an engineer. So this is almond brittle. So this is like peanut butter.
It's very addictive. It's very addictive.
It's addictive. Tom, would you like one?
No.
Is it on your carnivore diet?
No, it's not.
Okay. So
there's no alcohol in it, but it's addictive.
Good.
Now, some people says it sticks to their teeth, and I said, well, if you have your coffee or hot tea, it'll take it off. Meaning the brittle, not your teeth.
Right.
Okay.
Well, this is delicious. This is delicious.
Now,
So-
both of you were equally involved.
Yeah.
How do you go from transistors and resistors to cooking? Did you always have a passion for it?
I've always loved to bake. I started out with small things at home, and I did brittle and pie and breads and cookies and that kind of thing, and I've always loved it. So we just decided that was something I'd like to pursue a little bit more.
So we've been married. April will be married 42 years.
Very nice.
Okay.
God
And
bless you.
I can just tell you right now that when I got married, I wasn't quite a 31-inch waist, okay? Didn't quite wear a 40 jacket.
Right.
And I went from under 150 pounds in just a couple of years to 250 pounds.
Because of the marriage,
Okay.
and her cooking.
So that tells you how good of a cook she is.
Yeah.
And in fact, all
Or
this...
that you had no self-control, but go ahead.
Well, I didn't have that either. So all these snacks and that you're seeing here, just a few right now, she used to make them all just for me.
Wow.
And I didn't share. Well, it got to a point where I just couldn't eat all of it, and I said, we've got to do something about this. I said, well, someday I'd like to open
Your
a
own
bakery.
place, yeah, sure.
So, and that's part of it. So we don't, as much as I like donuts and Jill likes donuts, we don't eat donuts anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, for that reason. We can eat them because of the cholesterol,
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that we can't enjoy making them.
Sure.
And the other sweet stuff as well. And it is kind of fun when people, you make something for somebody and they come back later and say, that was fantastic, I'm coming back.
So people come from a destination to come see you. It's not just people right in Chittenango, right?
That's all around here, Canastota, Cazenovia, Fayetteville, Oneida. We've even had somebody come from Nashville, Tennessee.
No
That's
kidding.
quite a ride.
Well,
Yeah.
Speaking of that and being in different states, do you do a lot of mail order at all?
Not yet. We're trying to develop our website so we can do that, where we can actually seal up our product. Yeah, seal up our product. Some of the stuff can be vacuum sealed, like the brittle. Other stuff, like the donuts and stuff, cannot be vacuum sealed because when you vacuum seal it, it's going to take all the air out of it, and it won't reinflate.
Yes, so, I'm familiar with that.
So, Tom, I'm going to eat all these things. You can't because you're a carnivore.
Man.
So what do I got going on here?
That is a chocolate cream puff.
So chocolate, again, YouTube listeners, radio listeners just have to imagine me eating this because here it goes, Tom, you know?
Yeah, they go down really easy.
Oh, isn't that nice? Yeah. I think all 5 YouTube listeners just batted their eyes. Yes. Yeah.
Probably 6 now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so maybe it makes good radio. Not really, but those are delicious. Right. They feel very light. They are. Sometimes the cream puff things, it feels like you have to carve through the center of it to get to. That's like almost like a pastry.
Yeah. And they're very nice. Like I said, they'll go down real easy. You know, a dozen won't last long.
No.
Just like a dozen donuts.
Do you guys at all think about doing any like healthy type stuff? And I don't even know what would be healthy in the bakery. But
well, we do try to work with sugar lessened in the sugar. I do make like jams, so I use less sugar. We do sugar-free options, and I'm working on some gluten-free things too.
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's that's a work in progress.
You've made some gluten-free pies this Thanksgiving.
Sure,
I did, and that's a little tougher. So I'm learning that.
Yeah, people that are diabetic, like with the pies, she can use different sugar substitutes, whether it's stevia or Splenda.
Yep.
We can hook you guys up on New York State maple syrup because they're a client of ours. We represent maple throughout the state.
And I do use maple syrup, and I do use local honey. The nuts that are here that we brought, they were with local honey.
There's a local farmer that comes in and brings us oats and now cornmeal.
Yep.
And we use his products. She made him a special batch of oatmeal cookies. He came in and he had those, and he said, "My God, those are the best oatmeal cookies I'd ever had."
So Sweet Tooth Annie Bakery, right in downtown Chittenango.
Yeah. Very nice. Thank you guys both, and Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Arielle Sheehan is coming up next. She's the sales and marketing representative at 43 North Marina. Stick around for that right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR 1069 FM.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into the show. What show? It's The Local Show with Tom and Steve. Thank you for joining us, and it's our pleasure to bring a new person onto the show.
A new person? A baby?
Well, they're not that new.
Oh, okay. A new guest.
A new guest?
A new guest.
Okay. But you know what? Before I start talking about the guest, let's talk about a topic that is near and dear
I have
to
no idea what you're going to say right now, which terrifies me. Go ahead.
Let's talk about me.
Okay.
Which is what I like to do. You know, it's funny. No matter what kind of great shape you get into, there's always something that takes you off the mark. So remember,
did someone accuse you of being in great shape?
Remember a couple of years ago, I had a problem with my foot, a callus on my foot, and it was really painful to walk. And I thought, geez, you can hardly see it. It's not a big callus.
Right.
So I got to go back to the podiatrist. That same type of callus grew again. And,
on your foot or your head?
On my foot in the same spot. So it really, really hurts. So now I'm going to the gym and I'm like, great. Now, so it's not only that I have to get to the gym and work out hard. Now I got a callus that
hurts. They can take care of that.
And yeah, they do. It's not that bad. But I don't know what causes it and what's making it recur.
Hang on.
Tight shoes?
I just looked it up. Fat feet, Tom.
Fat feet?
Yes, that's what it says right there. Fat feet cause calluses. It's right there on Google.
Oh,
I'll ask Siri.
Well, anyway, I have to go to the podiatrist. So our next guest is young and probably doesn't have to worry about calluses or anything. Arielle Sheehan, is that how you say your name?
Yeah,
very nice. Okay, you are the sales and marketing representative at 43 North Marina, which means you have to see Steve.
I do. Every now and then he'll come in and bug me.
I'm not high maintenance, Tom. Why do you?
He's beyond high maintenance, isn't he?
How many times? A good time.
How many times do you have to tell him the bathrooms are over there? You've asked me 10 times.
They're right through the door.
Hey.
So now, what brought you over to 43 North?
So I actually worked at a radio and television station in Albany for a period of time, but then I was looking at moving out to Oswego again because that's where I went to school.
Okay.
I graduated in 22.
Gotcha.
So I was looking into jobs moving back over, and then I found 43 North Marina. And I got in touch with Kevin, and
Yes, we know Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah. What did you do at the radio station?
So I was an account executive for corporate support there because it was a PBS and NPR station, so they were.
Oh yeah, which one's out there?
WMHT.
Yeah, MHT. Yeah.
So they ran things like programs like All Things Liberally Considered and
Morning Edition.
The Morning Left Wing Edition. Programs like that.
Oh yeah. Yep. For sure they did.
So now you thought you would parlay that into more marketing and
absolutely
strategy.
Yeah. So it kind of I took some aspects from that job, like when I sold advertisements, and I kind of flipped that to now looking into advertising and things like that for the marina. But
that's
it's
good.
a great time. I've expanded my position a ton since I've been there. So.
Did you have a passion for boating and lakes?
Oh, absolutely,
okay,
yeah.
So you were kind of
for sure,
into that.
yeah. Living on the lake out in Oswego.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Sparked that in me when I was in college. So.
It's very pretty out there.
No, that marina, and folks will remember it that are old like you, Tom, and me. It was the old trade yacht.
Sure.
And I don't know anybody that ever traded a yacht.
No.
but before Kevin bought it, my opinion is the place was not all that spectacular. And,
it got tired.
They got tired.
It looked tired.
And they put a lot of energy and, quite frankly, money and things into it. And the docks and the marina and the gas. And it is really the new building.
Yep.
It's a great place, and that's where we keep our boats. It's a great place to get in and out of. And there's nice faces, and they fix things.
Well, some people have real boats there, like Patty Bombardo.
Oh, Patty! I walked by my little dinghy to get to Patty's boat. She's right near. Sure enough, she's 5 boats up. And but there's small boats.
She won't be this year, by the way.
Where's she going?
She's going to get further away from you.
Okay.
She's over about 10 slips now.
Yeah. But they sell boats and everything there, which surprised. So what kind of boats do they sell?
So we sell Scarab jet boats, Viaggio pontoons, Stingray, Sea Pro, and what am I missing?
I don't know.
Low fishing boats.
Oh yeah, low fishing boats. They're popular fishing boats.
They are. They're very popular.
Yeah. So what would you say is the most popular style of boat these days?
From my experience?
Yeah, from being there, yeah.
It's been pontoons.
Yeah, Viaggio.
For sure, Viaggio pontoons. And a lot of people are looking into low pontoons as well.
Did the persona or the mystique of pontoon boats was always an old person?
Well, yeah.
You're like, I got my pontoon boat.
Because there's pontoon boats from the 50s that are still floating around.
And you see it, and I was like, look at that guy in a pontoon boat. Now I'm like, hey, look at that pontoon boat. It's like it's changed.
We were this close to getting the Viaggio. We really were, yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch of new ones.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Well, because, when you get a little older, I have kids that are probably around your age. Mm-hmm. So, they want to come on with their spouses or their boyfriends and girlfriends and things like that. Yeah. So you want to do a family thing.
They're definitely a family boat. Yeah. People think older, but really there's a lot of young families that come in and want to look.
And they're making them now with the tri-hulls, and the tri-tunes, I should say.
You're right.
You can go faster. So you can get, 47, 50 miles an hour out of these.
And you don't get knocked off your kilter.
No, right.
Because with the two, it's just more stable.
It's like driving a Cadillac on the water.
It really is.
Absolutely.
It is.
What you're talking about.
Have you seen that new building up there, Tom?
Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes,
the showroom?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, then I came in and tell people that are listening about this boat program that you have. Like if you don't want to be a boat owner, and which arguably Steve shouldn't own anything.
Oh, will you stop with me? It's not that he's wrong.
But tell us about this program.
So it's called Carefree Boat Club. We kind of launched it in April of last year, so it's coming up on a year now. Mm-hmm. And essentially, it's a members-only boat club in which our members get to, just pay a monthly fee, and you get to use any one of our boats. We have 3 boats right now in our fleet.
Okay.
And
one of them being the pontoon boat, probably.
Yep, the pontoon's the popular one.
Okay.
And you essentially just get to make a reservation on your phone, and you show up when your reservation is, and you just hop on the boat, go, come back, we gas it up for you, you just go home.
Can you use it for a whole day?
Yep. Yeah, we have full day reservations. And so, when you come back, we gas it up for you and you just go home. And a lot of people really love it because it's so easy. You don't have to worry about maintenance or insurance or cleaning or storage or anything like that.
Yeah.
And boat clubs really are popular down south, but not a lot of people know about them up north.
No, I haven't heard about them until you guys came.
And what I saw that I didn't know was you have reciprocals with places in other places. So explain that.
Yeah, so there's, I think it's almost 150 clubs now that are in the Carefree brand.
Yeah.
There's a couple worldwide locations, like there's one in Central America. I believe there's one in Panama.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, but most of them are in the United States. So there's a lot down south, especially in Florida, like South Carolina.
So how does that help me?
So, up north
travel.
Especially, our season, unfortunately, is pretty short.
Sure.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like to go down to Florida for the winters, and, there's a ton down there. So whichever's closest to you, you can use,
So I can just show up there, sign up on the app, get a boat in Tampa or in wherever the heck it is in Florida, and I don't have to pay for it as part of my membership?
It's part of your membership, yep.
Which is pretty cool, because renting a boat, you're going to spend $1,000 a day to rent a boat or something down there.
Definitely down there, yeah.
Sure.
For sure.
And that's if you can get in, because probably people use up all the...
What would you say if someone said, if I join it, what if the boat's never available? Then I'm throwing my money away.
So we are required to keep a ratio of, I believe it's 10-1, but our club keeps an 8-1 ratio. So for every 8 people that join our club, we get another boat.
Okay.
So there's always going to be.
And if I don't want the pontoon boat, what are the other 2 boats that are in the group?
We have a Scarab jet boat and a Sea Pro center console.
Okay. And the thing about all 3 of those, Tom, is you can fish out of any of them.
Well, that's true.
You can.
Yeah.
Technically.
That center console one is probably what you'd want.
That's right.
Nice.
So people wanted information on that. Do they just go to the web, go to 43 North Marina? Is that there?
We have a website just for the boat club. So it's Carefree Boat Club at Syracuse, or carefreeboatclubsyracuse.com.
Okay, Carefree Boat Club Syracuse. And 43 North Marina. I love it there. I really do. There's a neat culture. Everybody's really nice, and I mean that.
We all love each other for sure.
Right?
Yeah, we're always hanging out and just.
Yep, and they know how to fix stuff, Tom. Because this may shock you. I broke my boat a few times.
Yeah, I would imagine. Ariel, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Sales and marketing.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. Sales and marketing representative at 43 North, 43northmarina.com. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have a conversation with Joshua Chiz. He is the executive director of operations at Marketplace Chaplains, and then we'll talk with Joe Scripa, the owner of the Scripa Group. Attorney David Snyder stops by, owner of the Snyder Law Firm, and Loris Rigdon is a physical therapist and the owner of Onondaga Physical Therapy. Stick around. Hour number 2 starts really soon.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Josh Chiz. He's the Executive Director of Operations at Marketplace Chaplains. Joe Scripa stops by, the owner of the Scripa Group. Attorney David Snyder will have a conversation with him. He's the owner of the Snyder Law Firm. And then Loris Rigdon stops by. He's a physical therapist and owner of Onondaga Physical Therapy, all in this hour of The Local Show. Y'all strapped in there, Steve?
Yeah, they didn't strap me in for a few years, Tom.
Well, they ought to strap you down.
Yeah. Remember, I didn't even know cars had seatbelts. Did your first car have seatbelts?
Golly, let me. No.
I was like, what are these things? You clean.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had them.
Yeah, I remember being in my father had a '65 Mustang, and I must have been 4 years old. We were going down Calvin Street, and he had a slam on the brakes, and I went right into the dashboard.
That's about right.
Bloody nose and everything. Yeah. It was horrible. You fell off.
So then you put your seatbelt on?
Yeah. I don't know.
No, probably not.
Probably not. Well, they didn't have them. They didn't have them in the back seats.
I remember riding in the back window window of the Impala where they had that big flat spot. Where I remember laying back there right down the road.
Yeah, you were as thin as a pencil.
Yeah,
you could do that.
That's true. That's true.
We had the station wagon that faced backwards.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
right.
nice too.
Right.
Station wagons were a great vehicle.
Yeah, the old Woodies. I know.
So it's our pleasure to bring on Joshua Chiz. He's the Executive Director of Operations at Marketplace Chaplains. How are you, Josh?
Great. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. So this is a unique business that I wasn't familiar with. I went to the website, tried to learn a little bit.
Yeah.
It turns out that I'm incapable of learning. So why don't you tell us what your background is and how you got into this business?
Sure. Well, first of all, you're not alone. Most people, when I tell them what I do, they say, I didn't know that was a thing. They're familiar with chaplains, chaplaincy, but just not in this realm. But so my background, I've been a pastor for years.
Oh, okay.
I became a chaplain. I started doing chaplaincy in healthcare and law enforcement, first responders. Left healthcare a number of years ago, 5-6 years ago now, and went to prison and did chaplaincy there.
How much time you do?
I did 4 years in prison.
Yeah.
And then Marketplace Chaplains called me.
Okay.
And they were looking for an executive director of operations for New York, and at the time it was New York and a little bit of Pennsylvania. And that role basically oversees operations in that territory.
Gotcha.
And we just recently switched. I'm now New York and all of New England. I lost my little sliver of Pennsylvania and Allentown and Lehigh Valley, but I've got all of New England as well. And so we place chaplains in all sorts of companies, and my role is really to be an account manager and to be a leader of the chaplains.
So I'm confused.
Yeah.
Which isn't,
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Doesn't take a lot. So you're sitting around your company like, who's that guy over there? He's the chaplain. Where did he come from?
Well, yeah.
So help me understand. How do you place it?
Exactly. Yeah. People try to figure out how that works, right? So here's how it started. I'll go back 40 years ago. This month, maybe this week even, we had there was a chaplain who retired from the military, and he went into the workforce. And he basically identified, hey, these people need a chaplain just like my soldiers did. And so he began this chaplaincy ministry with this particular company in Texas. They're based in Texas. And it just grew from there to the point where today we have over 2,200 chaplains, or just about 2,200 chaplains nationwide, and we're serving almost 400,000 employees. And what we do, our big thing is just like a chaplain would in the military, or what I did at the hospital when I was a chaplain. You round on the patients, you round on the staff, you get to know them, you check in on them. Our chaplains do the same thing. They go to the work site, they make their way around the work site. We do brief conversations so they're not taking up the work time so much. But they build that rapport, build that relationship. And the idea of that is everyone's going through stuff, right? And it's, it comes in waves, but when things are going on, they've got somebody that they can kind of unload on. And if there's something really big happening, they've built that rapport and relationship. They can reach out to that chaplain. They can meet offline. They can meet out after work. They can talk about what's going on. And so it becomes it's really what we call it is an employee care service. That's really what we do.
Right. That's amazing. So a lot of people in this audience might be familiar with the show MASH. Yeah. And of course they had a chaplain there. It's kind of that same thing where there's a chaplain on site that you can go to. That's wonderful, especially in this day and age.
Well,
right?
exactly. So, when I first started as a chaplain or, pastoring, I would ask people a lot of times in conversation, I'd say, what's your faith background? Did you grow up in church? And almost always somebody had something, right? But now I ask that question and people say nothing.
I read the horoscopes.
Yeah, I mean, there's really there's
That's a good start. California psychics.
That's right. So what happens is they've got no go-to. They've got no resource, and so somebody dies and. In their family or in their life, and who's doing their funeral? Well, a lot of our chaplains will do those funerals.
Does that make it harder or simpler to administer to people with no background? There's nothing to pin it back to. So does that make it harder?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, I guess, your approach, right? So if you're talking about just caring for employees. I mean, we do that for everybody, right? So it doesn't matter if you're, of like faith, of a different faith, of no faith, or even if you're anti-faith. Like we're there for you, and we'll serve you. So, in that sense, no, it doesn't make it harder because we care for everybody. In the sense of conversations around faith, sure, it's hard because there's no foundation, there's no background, and so people, in some sense, though, it's kind of fun because when people aren't, if they don't know much and they're curious, it's fun to share stuff with them.
Now, would you all of your chaplains be Christian?
So we're a 501c3, and Christian 501c3. So our chaplains are Christians, but we what we make very clear is we are there for everybody. It doesn't matter the faith, and so we serve. And what we'll do is we'll connect people to various faiths if they need to, various faith leaders or resources. We really try to make sure that we're serving everybody, and our goal is not to necessarily be out there trying to build up what we're doing or what we believe. But we tell every company, we'll engage in conversation if people want to go there.
But the 2,200-ish individuals that are involved as chaplains, I'm imagining there's geography to this. So the guy that's visiting someone in Buffalo isn't from Albany.
Correct. Yeah. So, but here's the cool thing about this is I have people all the time who have a need somewhere across the country because they have a family member. I had a guy contact one of my chaplains and say, "Hey, my sister's in Texas, almost to the border into Mexico," and he said she's got dementia. She's in a spot I can't get to. Do you have a chaplain? And we had a chaplain go visit her. We had a chaplain right there.
Wow. Do any of your chaplains have a background in social work or psychology or anything like that? Or?
It's a variety. So we have some that have social work backgrounds, some that have counseling backgrounds or psychology backgrounds. Most, I'd say, a good portion of our chaplains have been clergy or are clergy, but that's not required. We do all of our own training, so anybody that is interested in serving as a chaplain, you can contact me or my counterparts or just contact our national office, and we would train you to become a chaplain even if you don't have experience.
So there's businesses listening and individuals listening, and it can work either way. If somebody worked at a company and said, that would be great for our company to have, they could start that with you. Or if maybe there's a company listening and say, you know what, we'd like to have something like that.
Absolutely.
Either way, they can circle and connect with you and kind of connect the dots and terms and conditions apply, and how's it work?
Yeah, they can reach out, and we basically look at their needs, we look at their size, we look at what we could do, and because we're a not-for-profit, we can provide something pretty affordable, and it's a boots-on-the-ground employee care service, so that's one of the strengths of it,
Well, geez, I like that.
Who knew that?
I did.
We have a lot of companies in the Syracuse area, too, that utilize us.
Yeah, it's excellent.
It's pretty awesome.
I love your demeanor, too. That's great. That's Joshua Chiz right there. You can get a hold of him at, should they call the 1-800 number?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, 800-775-7658. Yes. Sound good? Okay. And then MCHAPUSA.com.
Okay. Yeah. M is in marketplace and chap is in chaplains.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Josh Chiz, Executive Director of Operations at Marketplace Chaplains. Happy New Year, and thank you for coming by.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Coming up next, we're going to talk with Joe Scripa, owner of the Scripa Group, right here on the radio. And the
570 WSCR 106.9, Tom.
And YouTube. That's what I wanted to say, right there.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and that means that you are too the last bastion of great talk radio in 2024.
Well, Tom.
It's right here.
Well, Tom. So there was a little costume change at the break.
You had a change?
I had a change. So if you YouTube listeners will say, wow, look, he's wearing a different shirt. Okay.
I think they're YouTube viewers.
Maybe
but if you want to call them listeners.
I stand corrected every day and every minute by Tom.
Well,
So, YouTube listeners would see that maybe I spilled a little something on my shirt at the
well,
break.
that happens.
So,
I was eating a steak. I don't know. I started to squirt out a little juices there, but
but things like that don't bother you. You just so I got the Tide pen and
when you're Italian, you're used to wearing the food.
Okay, well that's true.
It's all part of the experience.
I wouldn't know because I'm not.
Speaking of Italian,
look, there's one now.
Joe Scripa is here.
Oh my goodness, this is so bad.
It's good stuff. How you doing there, Joe?
Doing great. How about yourself, Tom?
Very good. And you're looking slender as well, so good job, man.
I wore black today, like a good Italian.
Right. When did you convert to Italianism?
Well, here's the funny thing. So next week, it's an Italian guy and an Irish woman because Tom's wife, Kelly, starts with us in our office full time. She's been with us for a good amount of time.
Working right.
But she starts full time, pretty much running the office.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you. She's a great worker, but she's so enthusiastic about the business too.
Yeah.
And what she told me is that I didn't realize how deep you were into so many facets of real estate rather than just, selling a home or a business.
Well, we do a lot of advising and consulting and management. I'd say that's probably a little difference about our company.
Yeah.
Is real estate is transactional, right? Okay.
Right.
So we meet people and we're their partner.
Yeah.
We want to work with them on transaction after transaction. So it's not just one and done. We don't really care for that business. We'll do it, and we'll do a great job at it.
Yeah.
But what we really, really enjoy doing is having customers for life.
Sounds like the marketing business with Zoey a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We talk about, people are trying to make a quick deal, sell an ad. You know what? Just back up. What are we aiming at and making it a plan, not just a transaction?
Yes.
A strategy,
Yeah. So, we have a couple new people on board with us. Mm-hmm. And, the process was a pretty long interview. And I'm going to say like 6 months of interview.
Right.
Them interviewing us interviewing them.
Before you take them on as a client.
To see if we'd be a fit.
Right.
Because, if they own a reasonable sized portfolio, we want to understand it and know that we can handle what they're giving us and that we'll be able to advise in the right capacities for them. And this particular family owns a lot of built real estate and they have some land.
Sure.
So we just made a deal with them to move forward and help them make development plans for their land, manage some of their properties, and that's what Kelly's been getting to see is all that back end of the work we do.
Well, that's
so
great.
The brokerage is wonderful and we love doing it. It is transactional. The other part is really partnering with people.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been hearing about Kelly for way too long.
Yes.
And from Joe and from people that work with Kelly.
He actually knew Kelly before he knew me. So it's been quite some time.
That's true.
And it's all good. And you do some residential, and of course Kelly is great with residential. And you got another person up there that you can do that. And I believe your son is up there.
Yep.
So
Alec is working with us. He just he's been there for a year now. My son.
Yeah.
And he's doing deals and doing transactions.
Good.
And assisting our other customers. So, it's like we all work together. We have Nikki Bronner, Amber Perkins. They work as a team inside residentially.
Right.
But the whole company, when somebody comes on, everybody's working for those people.
That's beautiful.
It's not you're working with one person. You're working with everybody. That's what Kelly just experienced.
Yeah. And that'll be great for her too. So you also have this big thing with Micron coming in, and that's going to boost.
Oh, they're not coming, Tom. Everybody knows it's a head fake.
As the water rises, all the boats
I think there was a little lull there for the holidays.
Yeah,
people got a little concerned, but I think it feels like the trajectory of that is moving.
Forward,
it's moving. It's moving.
Do you know of any other businesses that are coming into town prior to Micron that are ancillary businesses or businesses that are coming in because of the Micron?
The one that just bought, they didn't just buy Anaren Microwave, but they had bought Anaren Microwave a few years back.
Okay.
And they're doing an expansion here, a significant expansion with, hundreds of employees and several millions of dollars of investment.
Good golly.
To build a plant that builds circuit boards.
Well, where are these employees coming from? Somebody tell me that, because
they're going to come from around the area, probably.
They're going to import, from other states, and yeah.
So that's good. And then, are you developing any land for living quarters for people?
We have 2 projects going on right now that we'll be able to announce in the not too distant future. One is in our northern burbs, and then out in the eastern burbs, we've got some stuff cooking. Yeah.
And now I know that you're not involved with this particular project, but what do you hear about those people over at the candle factory?
Oh, no,
they moving forward?
Good people. Yeah, they're moving forward. They had some challenges. I think they had, it's a great project, and it is finally looking like it's starting to move.
Yeah,
along.
you can see it.
The windows were just installed.
Oh, okay.
But I think they had some challenges that it was a bigger undertaking than realized, but it looks like it's starting to come to life.
I think that property
it'd be nice to clean up over there to make it look good.
And they really have.
In the past month, the cleanup has been tremendous.
Oh,
correct.
It's looking very, very good. Yes. The Pascarellas are doing that.
Yeah.
It's our people.
Right, yes. He's a great guy.
Yeah, Robertses are never invited to those.
No, never the Robertses.
The Roberts, the Swedish, the Welsh, the German. We're not invited. What can you do about the ramp there that is the bumpiest road right by the candle?
Oh, yeah, right.
That is the worst road. You get off at Hiawatha, that thing's nasty.
Oh, that is tough.
And it's always nasty.
Yeah. Maybe they'll fix that.
I think they're trying to get another routing into the site, but that's going to be a great site. I'm so excited for them, for the Pascarellas.
Right.
Because it's a big project. It's a lot of units. Alec and I got to tour it a year ago.
Okay.
So when Alec, it was one of the first properties we toured together.
Yeah.
And Vittorio Pascarella was kind enough to take us through and explain everything. It's gorgeous inside.
Nice.
It's amazing.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So what other things do you have going on? Like some people are talking about commercial real estate ruining the market. What do they mean by that on a national scale? I heard that,
I think what it is the attrition away from office, relative to COVID. So I'm going to say in Syracuse, I think our office market is it's decent. It's pretty strong, with the exception of right now Accent Tower, that's in a little bit of trouble.
Okay.
And apparently Salina Meadows is going through a little bit of a struggle as well. However, in general, on any assignments we've been looking for office, we're having to search a little bit.
Yeah. Really? Are people converting? Have they converted office to other stuff? Is that why?
Here, not so much, but I think that's what they're talking about, Tom, across the country is it's causing trouble with vacancy, and that's what they've got to do. And the conversion of an office property to apartment or something is considerably expensive.
Right, of course.
But it's ruining the market from the perspective of that's the vacancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do you see the residential housing market going in the next, let's call it 120 days?
Let's talk about here locally.
Yes, locally.
Locally, I say we stay in the same shortage we're in. Mm-hmm. We're starting to see a little bit of slowing down in the purchases due to interest rates, but as the rates ticked down just a hair over the past few weeks, transactions are up immediately.
Right.
Jeez.
So the minute we get another tick down in rates, it's going to consume everything we have. I think we got a problem.
So last question. Things moving, Micron coming, those things. If someone has property, something to manage, should they wait or should they talk to you now?
They should talk to us immediately. Because it's planning. Just like I just said, we just spent somewhere between 4 and 6 months with another group that we're taking on. So the planning stage is big.
Okay.
So you want to get ahead of the game. You call us right now at 315-452-1200.
452-1200, ScripaGroup.com, ScripaGroup.com.
Very nice.
Thanks, Joe.
Happy New Year.
Right, happy 2024.
You got it. Attorney David Snyder's up next. He's the owner of Snyder Law Firm. Stick around for that on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York, The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You found The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM. And you can check us out on YouTube and see the guests and see Steve and the fact that he did a wardrobe change.
Okay, I spilled on my shirt.
Thank goodness he didn't have a malfunction.
No,
nobody wants to see all that.
His little tight pen. Okay, it happens.
Yeah, it does.
You know, I addressed it.
I was eating a steak in between segments.
I know. Well, you're all carnivore diet now.
Right. And I'm surprised I didn't get any on me.
So are there any potato chips in the house at all?
No, nothing.
No?
No chips, no nothing like
Doritos.
that.
Crackers?
It's the best part of it is the elimination part. And when you get rid of all the crap, you find that life gets a lot better.
It's a family show, Tom.
You got to get rid of all that junk food, man.
No, it's true.
I'll tell you what. And the kids, they're following suit. I feel like we're really leading. And they're saying, really, we can't have this and that. No, ho-hos are not a real food. You got to understand that.
So if you have to hide
Pop-Tarts.
If you have to hide a bag of potatoes safely, just drop them off at the Soccocio home.
Right.
And they're not in danger.
Oh, goodness. Well, anyway. So we got another guest on the show here that's been here before, but he brought a guest with him. So we got guests on top of guests. Attorney David Snyder is here. He's the owner of Snyder Law Firm. And along with Carrie Knapp, who's also an attorney. Are you guys equal partners? Or you?
Well, we, I think as officially today, it's going to be the Snyder Knapp Law Firm.
Oh, very nice.
Ooh,
Snyder
Knapp LLC. And so Carrie is now a partner.
Very exciting.
Excellent.
Wow. Why'd you do that?
Good question. Fair question. Dave's just the best guy, so.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yep. Now, Carrie, are you from around here? Are you a native?
I'm originally from Albany, actually, about 2.5 hours away. And my husband's originally from the area.
Okay.
So I met him right before going to law school at Syracuse.
Oh, you went to Syracuse as well?
Mm-hmm.
And you went to Syracuse?
I did, yeah.
Okay, were you there at the same time?
No, a few years apart.
Okay, great. Yeah,
she's much younger than me.
I think I was telling
Put your glasses on.
David before that my mom was the admin over there for Dean Braveman, Dr. Braveman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I remember, and I was going to school there at the time, so that had to be way back.
Yeah, Braveman spans the generations there.
Does he?
So yeah,
okay, so
there's quite there's still up there, and there's people 10, 20 years before me who had Braveman. So
our former county executive Joni Mahoney went there as well.
Yes.
She was there. We went to high school together and stuff. So yeah, nice, good. So you joined the firm. Did you do any type of law before joining the firm? Were you on your own or?
Yeah, prior to joining the firm, when I got out of law school, I actually worked in insurance for a little bit. Okay. I was an adjuster for an insurance company. I wasn't really sure where I wanted to take my law degree yet.
Right.
And so I worked on the defense side for about a year before I switched over to plaintiff side.
So did you do a lot of courtroom?
Yeah, not a lot. More so, as an adjuster, you're dealing more with injured people in motor vehicle accidents, stuff like that. So that's what I was doing, but on the insurance side.
Okay, great. So now that you guys are together, I know that is malpractice a part of your?
We do a little bit of that, but the majority of our practice is personal injury and workers' compensation.
Oh, workers' comp, yeah. So are you going to beef that up now? What's going to happen here?
Well, I think it's workers' comp has always been a priority for us as a firm, and and Carrie's been with me since she left that insurance company, and so we've utilized her skills and her knowledge of how they work, and that's it's been helpful in moving cases the right way.
So personal injury, it feels like. Every corner, every billboard, everything, everywhere.
Well, there's a lot of people in it. That's what he means to say.
You can't swing a dead cat, not hit a PI attorney, okay?
All
right. How are they different, or are they the same?
I think there is a difference. I mean, I just from my experience, there's firms out there who you're going to call and you're going to talk to someone who is not an attorney. You're going to have them screened by paralegals, maybe secretaries, and you may not talk to an attorney until it's the case is well on its way, and that's not the case with us.
They want to make sure it's big enough and all that, so that they can make money.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right. Well, you guys are probably a little more compassionate, a little bit more boutique.
Yeah, I mean, I try to make myself available to my clients all the time. Like, even if I'm not in the office, I try to have my calls forwarded to my cell phone, even if I'm on vacation, because that case for them, it might just be another case for some attorney, but that's someone's livelihood.
Yeah,
so if they want to talk to somebody, I want to make sure I'm available to them as often as possible to try to, guide them, answer questions for them. So I definitely think that's different for us.
So you were on the other side of this. How does that connect? How does that affect the way you look at things now?
Well, that's a good question. I definitely can see it from an insurance perspective, because I always try to look for, everyone's just trying to do their jobs a lot of the times, the insurance company. I try to look at it from everybody's perspective. And I think that gives me a perspective from the insurance company, how they evaluate it, how they look at it, what their tactics are going to be. And I think it helps me maneuver on behalf of my client to try to, be a step ahead of the game. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of approach it.
I noticed you have a Band-Aid on your thumb.
Yeah.
Did you do that at work?
Yeah. Tough job. No, I did this at home.
Oh, crap. I know a lawyer.
To file a workers' compensation claim.
So there aren't a lot of females in the personal injury space, are there?
There are or not?
Or not? I don't see it. It seems like it's always.
I don't know.
It always seems like it's a middle-aged white guy standing there. Get the money you want. It always feels that way anyway.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, in law in general, I think there's probably more men than women in it, but it's growing.
Yeah. I was going to say, I know for maybe just a few years after I graduated, there have been more women graduating from law school than men. And I just think litigation tends to be more male-centric. And then I think the PI space specifically. But
that's what I was sensing.
Yeah.
So between the two, PI and workers' comp, do you settle a lot of times out of court, or how much of it goes to court? How much do you settle out?
Well, workers' comp, I mean, you're in court all the time. That's not. Settlement's a little bit different within workers' compensation. There's procedures that have to be followed to actually settle a case. So we can't settle it outside of court, so to speak. Gotcha. But in PI, cases get settled out of court all the time, and that's good for the clients in a lot of ways. Helping to keep expenses down and that kind of thing.
Right. On either side, who should call you and have a conversation?
The injured party. Anytime you're injured, whether or not it's at work, or if you think there was an accident that someone may be responsible for that accident, there was negligence involved, it's always good to inquire. There's no harm in just contacting us and having a conversation to see if you need help going forward. It's free. Do you know what I mean? That conversation's free. And even if you decide not to go with an attorney, at least it's good to have the conversation and explore all your options.
Nice.
Do you get weird calls like somebody like, hey, that person looked at me wrong, I should sue them? I mean, isn't there some weirdness out there too? Maybe a little?
Oh, for sure. We definitely got some weird ones.
I get a weird call at least once a day.
Oh, once a day. Okay. For sure. But you don't know until you know.
Exactly. And what's the harm? It's not going to, again, it's free. It's not going to cost you anything. At the end of the day, at least you might have a clearer idea of what you want to do going forward.
I mean, I think, if we can't take the case, we always encourage people to keep trying to call other lawyers to see what they have to say about it. Certainly I've taken cases where other attorneys have rejected them, and we've done very well with those cases.
Yes.
And vice versa. So it's there's no definitive answer in the law, especially when it comes to personal injury.
Do some law firms charge more than other law firms?
Yes. Now, workers' comp's a little bit different because it's been, standardized as to what firms can be charged. Whereas in PI, typically it's a third of what is recovered, but certainly, we've taken cases where we'll take actually less than that.
So are you guys looking to expand this year, or will it just be you two for a while?
Yeah, I think we're looking to expand. I think we're looking to expand our client base. And then with that, if we need to expand for, additional attorneys, stuff like that, then obviously we'll expand the firm as well to, compensate.
So if someone didn't want to talk to a receptionist, or no offense to a receptionist, or a paralegal, and want to have a conversation with an attorney, They can reach you guys at 451-3040.
That's correct.
So 451-3040, and they can have that conversation. What's the website? I know you guys are partners now. Has that changed at all yet?
It will be snydernap.com.
So what is it right now? So
it's snyderlf.com right now as a law firm abbreviated.
So for this weekend, for today, let's go to snyderlf.com. Or call the 451-3040 number.
Very good.
And finally, before we wrap up, one of the best lawyer films ever, A Few Good Men, yes?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That was great.
Agreed.
I just saw it the other day. Loved it. All right. You can't handle the truth, Steve.
I know.
That's for
I'm
sure.
just one of 12 angry men, Tom.
All right. Loris Rigdon is coming up next. He's a physical therapist and owner of Onondaga Physical Therapy right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back on the local show. That means you are too. Tagging right along in this new year. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. You can also see the show on YouTube. If you pop on over there, please give us a like and a thumbs up and all that stuff. And that way the algorithm will serve it to exactly one more person.
And if you zoom in, you can see what's left of the steak Tom devoured a few minutes ago in the corner on his carnivore diet.
He tells me you can't see it.
I don't know. I think people can see that there's some raw meat laying over there.
Got a little of that going on, that's for sure. It's our pleasure to bring back the owner of Onondaga Physical Therapy. His name is Loris Rigdon, and he brought his marketing and outcomes director, Colleen Shute, to the show as well. So we've got two of yous here from Onondaga Physical Therapy. How you doing, guys?
Very good.
Very good. Oh, let me turn on your mic there.
Now you got me now?
Yes, right.
Can you hear me now?
Well, that's what people say. I'm good at turning people on. So, there you go. So, yeah, it's great to have you, both of you. How long have you been with the firm?
I have been with Onondaga Physical Therapy now for a little over 12 years.
Okay, I just got done interviewing an attorney, so you're probably not a firm. You're probably a practice, right?
Yeah. A practice, a clinic.
A clinic, okay, all that stuff. All right, good. So you've been there about 12 years. What does a outcome director do?
So it's a little bit of a split role. So the director of marketing side is really kind of self-explanatory. It's what it sounds like. I direct all of our marketing efforts. The outcome side is more clinical outcomes, managing, are the patients getting better? Why or why not? I'm working with our clinical team to figure out what those reasons are and just make sure that we're delivering the quality care that we promise on the marketing side.
Nice.
What would you say to somebody that would say, physical therapy, they always make me do physical therapy. I want to get I can't believe I got to go to physical therapy.
Yeah, how do you answer that? I mean,
you've never heard that before?
We do.
Or is that just me?
We do get that from the patients. Some of them, they walk in and they're like, "Oh, my doctor told me I have to come here. Why do I have to come here?" And we really have to. On the marketing side, of course, I'm going to speak, to how we ask our therapists and our front office staff to handle that. Is you really need to talk about the importance of PT and why their doctor referred them to come.
Sure.
Put the value behind it. So we do get that all the time. We do get them calling up on the phone saying that I don't really want to do this, but I know I need to. We have to sell it to them.
You've been ever ordered to go to PT, Tom?
No, thank goodness I haven't had any major surgeries or anything like that. But I will say that, physical therapy, I've known several people who've had hip replacements and things like that, and they said that the physical therapy was the best part. It would it loosens them up, it makes everything work. So it's not just the surgery that works, it's the getting in shape afterwards that really makes them mobile.
The surgeons will even say that, right? They need to do a good job, but without the good physical therapy afterwards, the surgery is irrelevant. So making sure you get the right rehab post-surgery, it's just critical.
Yeah, when I injured myself there a bunch of years ago, Tom, having to go to PT,
Yes.
It was painful.
Well, you got run over by a car.
Okay,
so
that's fair. Well, there were parts.
It wasn't just a broken leg.
But if somebody has something replaced or has surgery, it was hard. It was very, very
well,
painful.
especially if you're not used to training yourself, or you're not.
What are you
in
trying
shape.
to say?
Well, I'm saying you weren't in shape to begin with.
Maybe. Okay.
It's not like you were super athletic.
No, that is true.
Yeah.
That's fair. It wasn't like, hey, I'm working out. This is just another way to do it. That's not how I looked at it.
Yeah. And how do you handle people like that? Because some people, they just never did any physical activity. They get in an accident or they have a major surgery. This is all foreign to them.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take them through a pace, right? You can tone things down, lighter weights, less repetitions, home exercises, and sometimes it's hands-on stuff, right? To relieve the pain. Folks that are in pain come to us to try and get out of pain, not necessarily to cause more pain. So there are different types of patients that come to see us, and some of them need to be put in pain, unfortunately, to get their motion back. But some of them are the opposite. Where
Tom's not very flexible. Can you do that to Tom?
No.
We can definitely help Tom
I'm 59 years old, and I'm like Gumby. Let me tell you. People are always amazed. The chiropractors will go, wow, how do you stretch like that?
I thought you meant you were green.
No. I practice all the moves that Nadia Comaneci did in 1972.
Yeah.
You guys, you don't even know what Nadia is, right?
Our listeners remember, Tom.
Yes, of course. Well, anyway, so how many Onondaga physical therapies are there? Is there only one office, or?
We have 8 locations. So we're all over Syracuse and just about everywhere we're going to be convenient.
Yeah.
We just moved this past weekend. We moved into a new office in Cicero. So we moved from Drivers Village area up to Route 31 near Sparrows and.
Oh, really? Tom doesn't know where that is.
That's my area.
There we go.
I live over in the pastures, so I'm 5 minutes away.
Tom's bingo card.
So we'll take you right across the street from Sparrows in that plaza.
Wonderful.
So that's Cicero, Beeville, DeWitt, Liverpool, all the way out in Wolcott, Fairmount.
Yep.
Jeez.
So what's the most? So if you were like 2 prisoners sitting next to each other, and the new guy comes in, and the one guy says to the other, "What are you in for?" If 2 people at PT, what is most common? What are most people coming? What are they in for? Are there things that are more popular than others?
Popular is an interesting way to put it. Depends on the season, some, right? But I mean, the most common injury is certainly low back pain.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I don't know the numbers.
Could you come in like if you just feel a strain and you don't even need a doctor? Can you just come in and do it?
Yeah, you absolutely can. So in the state of New York, you don't actually need a prescription to come to physical therapy. You can come directly. It's called direct access for 10 visits or 30 days, whichever comes first.
And what insurances would cover that?
Most insurances, Medicare, workers' comp, and no fault are excluded.
Because people
excluded. So your commercial insurance.
So if the insurance, Excelis kind of thing,
United Healthcare, Aetna, all of those would allow. New York State allows it. It's just the insurances to pay for it can set their own rules.
So if they had to private pay, you would say, hey, it isn't covered. Here's what it will cost if you want to move forward.
Or let's get you a prescription so your insurance will pay for it.
Oh, there we go. Oh, okay.
Now, somebody wouldn't come over to you if they had like plantar fasciitis or something. They wouldn't come to you and say, hey, let's try and work that out. They would?
Of course they would.
Oh, they would. Okay.
It's not number 1 on our list. Right?
Is that a foot thing? Because Tom was wiggling his foot.
I was wiggling my foot. Yes.
Tom, let me give you a card right across the street from Sparrows.
Sure.
Seriously.
A few stretches. It's actually pretty easy to rehab.
Right.
We can help you.
Do you guys ever recommend strength training to people, your patients?
Oh yeah, I mean a big part of physical therapy is strengthening. So it can either be home exercises that you can do at home, or sometimes it'll be a gym program, right? Somebody wants to continue their rehab at whatever gym they go to. So we can definitely prescribe that.
Do people need X-rays before they have physical therapy?
No, they don't. They don't need X-rays. They don't need MRI. Sometimes the physicians will order them ahead of time just to be sure that, say, something isn't fractured or there isn't, something significant going on. But too often people will rely on the X-ray and not the actual symptoms that a patient has.
Okay.
So we could take Tom and put him in an x-ray and say, oh gosh, Tom, you have arthritis in your back. You should go to physical therapy. And Tom says, well, I don't have back pain.
Yeah, right.
So he doesn't need it. But even so, if he strained his back, right, you could do an x-ray, and it's a little bit misleading sometimes. So it's always best to evaluate based on symptoms, not necessarily on
What's sciatica?
Sciatica is a very generic term for radiating leg pain.
Okay. So if someone has pain down their leg that originates probably in their lower back or wherever?
It can come from the lower back. It can come from the hip. It can come from a muscle spasm. So sciatica isn't a diagnosis. It's more of a symptom, really.
Oh,
and then it's the job of the physical therapist to figure out, why are you having sciatica? Where is the sciatic nerve getting pinched? And fix that problem.
Excellent.
And then the sciatica goes.
So you have plenty of locations. I assume you're not the only physical therapist in the practice. So you got lots of room for people to make appointments with people.
Lots of room, lots of staff. Everything from vestibular PT to pelvic floor PT to orthopedics. Lots of different specialties and specialists to treat those. So yeah.
Beautiful. Onondaga, GA. Is that
that would be part of Onondaga?
That's part of the thing.
That was a Steve move.
It's getting blurry over here.
That was a Steve move. Go ahead. Try it again, Tom.
OnondagaPT.com. There you go. Thank you so much, guys. It was nice meeting both of you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having us.
That's going to wrap up the show, Steve. So you can go stretch or not stretch or
both.
Do whatever you don't do. I'm going to go to the gym. That's what I'm going to do. No gigs for a while. That's
there you
good.
go.
On behalf of the local show and Zoey Advertising and Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Take a walk today and every day with a friend or family member. That keeps the weight down and the mind clear. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1 and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, and the iHeartRadio app, along with YouTube at Zoey Advertising.